Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
What's up guys, Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well, and in this video we are going to be discussing The Bad Batch, specifically Season 3 of course, and into the regards of Tech. What's exactly going on with his character, what are we expecting? This here is an overall theory video talking about Tech from The Bad Batch, and what we may think we may see by the end of Season 3. Of course, we're going to go ahead and hop right on into it. Before we do though, however, grab that subscribe button if you haven't already, as we're discussing and covering all types of Star Wars related news, leaks, rumors, theories, and breakdowns here on the channel. Okay, so in this video we are going to be taking a quick read from the Direct article. I'll have their article linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there as well. Is Tech dead? I think is a big question that people in the Star Wars community are really beginning to ask and question themselves here, already, as if, you know, many of us out here weren't, especially given those last two episodes. What really happened to him? We're going to go ahead and explain all of that as I had just mentioned. Season 3 of Star Wars The Bad Batch had premiered without Tech, a core member of Clone Force 99, leaving audiences to question of what happened to him and if he's truly really dead, given what we saw in the end of Season 2's finale. True to his name, Tech was the Elite Squad's computer and weapons specialist, known for his practical, analytical approach and dry sense of humor. While Hunter and Omega were typically at the forefront of the Star Wars Disney Plus show, Tech proved to be the hero of Season 2, leaving the squad reeling his loss. The given obvious, I think, of what we already all unfortunately know is that in episode 16 of The Bad Batch Season 2, Clone Force 99 finds themselves in an impossible situation, trapped atop a train rail on the planet of Eriadu. In true Tech fashion, he reboots the power to the train cars, but he's left dangling from a grappling cable, and with the squad taking on enemy fire. It's here that Tech decides to execute Plan 99, sacrificing himself for the sake of his team and for the greater good. In response to Wrecker's plea of "Don't do it, Tech," the clone asks, "When have we ever followed orders?" before severing the cable and falling out of sight, presumably to his death. But when recently asked about Tech's tragic death and its Season 2 implications, Jennifer Corbett, the show's writer, had told the Direct's Russ Millam that Tech's absence is definitely felt in what their Clone Force 99 are doing now throughout this new season, saying that they're, in quote, "The whole squad has changed since the end of Season 2 by this point. Tech has always been the character that has kept the squad going and was able to solve a lot of the problems for them, and now that he's gone, not only are they dealing with his loss, but also what it means for how they work as a team now and throughout the season. His absence is definitely felt in what they're doing." Ending that quote right there. This is an actual similar or same quote that we had just covered here on the channel a couple of days ago, into the idea of when asked about what is new for the squad in Season 3 of The Bad Batch, how Clone Force 99 are going to prove themselves and move on and kind of essentially rework as like a new team without Tech in a part of the picture here. Recent episodes especially have proven this true, particularly regarding Omega, using the skills Tech have taught her to help the squad. But despite the nobility of Tech's sacrifice and its storytelling contributions, there is the question of whether Goggles is actually dead out there. Now, as I had mentioned at the beginning of this video, lots of us have been kind of asking this idea ever since we saw that scene at the end of Season 2, is Tech really dead? And I think now than ever, a lot more people and fans out there are beginning to ask this question more and more, and for what this may have for implications in the near future, with the latter half of the episodes coming out for the third and final season of The Bad Batch. Is Tech truly dead in The Bad Batch? Audiences may have seen Tech fall, but we never saw a body, and as the saying goes, nobody's ever really gone. This is a Star Wars show, part of the franchises famous for somehow Palpatine returned, lightsaber midsection survival stories as seen throughout the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, and the family tradition of hand amputations. But one of the main reasons behind the speculation of that why Tech may not actually be dead is the scene in Season 2's finale, where Dr. Hemlock produces Tech's broken goggles. Now, while I haven't actually realized it till now, but this is a clear-cut giveaway that the Empire have recovered Tech, or what was left of him maybe, and would have his body, and, you know, if he would still be alive, the Empire is the one that would have taken him on. While he claims that the eyewear was all that his troops had found, Hemlock is the chief scientist of the Empire's Advanced Science Division, with a mountain facility filled with cloned prisoners, on which he experiments them on, of course, on Mount Tantus, I think, as we already all know. And I think something else that we already all know is that Hemlock isn't always telling the truth of exactly everything. It's part of his, I don't know, him just being a villain. If Tech did survive, he may be one of Hemlock's many prisoners. And if he does return, he may no longer be the same Tex that the Bad Batch had once knew. At least for the time being. I think that they would give us a satisfying ending and conclusion by giving us that full circle of having Tech reunite with his brothers by the end of this show, hopefully given. Most recently, in those recent 2 episodes under the titles of Extraction and Infiltration, episodes 6 and 7, the episodes give a large part of their focuses towards what's called Imperial Shadow Troopers. They're essentially elite clones, very similar to what Crosshair was once in Season 1 and Season 2, essentially. They're just, it's in the name. I mean, elite clones, they're trained by the Empire, brainwashed and all of the above, and sent out onto specific elite missions. Think of it as very similar to the Winter Soldier for my Marvel fans out there. If you are, we have our Marvel channel linked in the description down below. Very similar to how the Winter Soldier or Bucky Barnes is handled, though, however, within the comics and within the movies. Brainwashed and trained like no other. And so, the question would remain, could the same have happened to Tech? Is he being trained as one of these Imperial experiments, or as a Shadow Trooper, to go on and hunt down what's remaining of the Bad Batch, or other Rebellion cells, as we are more and more learning about throughout not only the Bad Batch, as it was also kind of just recently name-dropped, the Rebellion cell in the latest episodes, but also throughout the Andor show. These Rebel cells are what eventually evidently makes up the Rebellion that we all know and love in the original trilogy with the Rebel Alliance. These Rebel cells, as I've kind of explained it in and out of videos here on the channel, are just essentially these little pockets of the Rebellion, people that are going against the Empire and what they're doing essentially, but none of them are really seeming to work together. They don't really know about each other. Point being is, what if the Empire is trying to do essentially a take-two on what they did for Crosshair, and then that they're trying to do the same on Tech, is essentially train one of these elite clones to specifically hunt down what's left of the Bad Batch, and also these rebellious clones and a part of these Rebellion pockets. Anyway, I think we all have our theories and ideas, and I would love to hear what you guys are all thinking in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, this has been an official Star Wars. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.